What is up, NFL fans? It's your boy Kevin Phillip Fox here with the Legit Football NFL podcast. No Adrian Revito today. Down Under is on a vacation or something along those lines. He probably told me, but as we all know from multiple episodes of this podcast, I don't listen to a damn thing Adrian says. That being said, however, I'm not here alone. Of course, can't do it alone. I do have one of our podcast staples and one of the true goats of NFL media, Jimmy Ray from NFL Stats. Jimmy, what's popping?
You said it to me earlier, and I tried to do a song, and I absolutely
Take two. Redemption.
What's popping? No, see, I can't. I'm just lost right now. I can't.
All right. Well, I think the proper response is brand new whip just hopped in. That's what the kids
got
say.
options.
He's got
I
options.
could pass that ball like Stockton.
Okay. Armand is already in the chat with his weekly catchphrase, "Hey all." If Armand had an action figure and you press the back, it would say "Hey all" for sure.
Yeah, in his voice.
And then it would say "Go Jets," and then the third one would be like an insult to me for some reason. But we still love him. Armand, the GOAT. What's up? We got 63 people in the chat. Hopefully more will join. We have a very exciting action-packed show for you today. We are down our real producer. We're down our scab producer. So Jimmy and I are truly grasping at straws here. You might be tuning into the lowest production value episode of Legit Football of all time. But with maybe the most net swagger between the hosts on screen. Like we
don't need a producer.
There's no huge swag reducers on the screen right now. So I have a feeling we're just gonna let it rip and have an excellent show.
I don't know if Adrian will be back.
Honestly, if this show goes well, this is our audition to do it without him. So
let's put some love in the comments. Let's talk to each other. Let's get the viewership up, and let's show Adrian that we don't need him.
Yeah, let's make him feel horrendous about missing this right now. He's probably gonna. I would be shocked if he didn't comment like some really we love Adrian. He's our special boy, but he's got a fragile ego. So
I'm just glad I can pick against the Packers without any repercussions today.
Absolutely. So without further ado, we have a Thursday Night Football recap to get to, and if you're better like me, if you're a fantasy football junkie like me, you're probably pretty disappointed in that game. Honestly, 5 field goals.
You're a field goal kicker
from the Giants. I was going to say, unless you had Greg Joseph, which I doubt you do, but it was 20-15 Dallas. CeeDee Lamb had a long touchdown, but for the most part, it was kind of a snooze fest. Jimmy, overall thoughts on the game?
I was just thinking that as well. Like it wasn't a game to like go home and tell your parents or tell your friends about. Like you're not going to go to work the next day and be like, "Did you guys watch that Cowboys Giants game?" But I mean, the Cowboys won. I think a lot of people probably predicted that with a few Giants upsets. Malik Neighbors is that guy though. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think at this point, if you look at all the stats and stuff, there's like a million stats. Just type in Malik Neighbors and you'll see like, oh, he's broken this record, first guy to do this, and how many games, blah blah blah. Unfortunately, I think he got a potential concussion, and hopefully he's good. But he'll have a long kind of
diagnosed, I believe. Officially concussion from what I've Dr. Kev. Yeah.
You have a doctor name, for being honest.
Kevin
with your initials next to you. Yeah, I don't know.
KPF. Oh, LF. Yeah, I could see myself being a little doctor action.
Doctor,
Armand fell asleep. Yeah, Armand. You're speaking for all of us, brother. I 9 days, so I think there's a chance Neighbors plays next week, but it's more likely than not after suffering a concussion that he'll miss one.
He does have a long week to.
Does have a long
Thursday
week
into Sunday probably.
Yep. So we'll have to see what happens, but he's an absolute stud, and I absolutely am enamored with his game. I went out and traded for him before his blow up in a couple leagues, and I could not be happier. Wan'Dale Robinson with the most quiet 11 catch night in NFL history. But 11 catches is 11 catches, especially if you're looking at PPR. Also, and Armand confirming this. I saw this on Twitter right before we got on the air, but confirming Neighbors has a concussion, but Parsons and Lawrence injuries are worse, according to McCarthy, which is not great. Those are two of the Cowboys' best defenders. So something to pay attention to for the Cowboys in future weeks. Jimmy, is this game an indication of the Giants' extra suckage, or did the Cowboys win this game, or did the Giants lose it? Like, do we feel better about the Cowboys after this game, or what's the answer to that?
I don't think we feel better about any team, if we're being honest. I think the Giants have lower expectations. So I
Yeah.
think in that regard, the fact that I think they could have won this game if they could have actually scored a touchdown,
Yeah,
right?
I would
I
say
mean,
coming away from this game weirdly, arrow up Giants, arrow down Cowboys, even though the
yeah, I mean
Giants
the
lost.
Cowboys got the win, and after this past Sunday when they absolutely got demolished, sure, but
Yeah.
did we expect them to lose to the Giants? No.
Yeah,
So it's just, I mean, it's also a Thursday night game, and that's why
right.
we probably like that's another
Part of
topic
that
we can always talk about, like with
part of
the
that weird vibe,
injuries,
yeah.
with the poor play.
Yeah,
It
I
just comes up
was
every time. It'll never change. I don't think they'll ever take away Thursday night football. Why would they?
yeah.
They have a prime deal that's probably going to last to like 2030.
Yeah,
Uh,
just keep racking in the
yeah.
dough, right? I was disappointed in Devin Singletary's performance. Dallas's run defense has been very bad through the first 3 games.
Hmm.
Looked like a smash start for Singletary in both fantasy and on the books. I'll take my L on that.
Yeah,
Um,
if you look at his stats, it's like you saw him with the ball so many times
14
throughout
for
the game, and then
24.
you see him get like 30 total yards or like 40 total yards or something. You're like, what is
Yeah,
that? That's disgusting.
I'll say Dimes impressed. A lot of poise. Good job climbing the pocket. Good job manipulating the pocket. Got the ball downfield accurately all game. Um, got to be able to punch it in.
He's
That's
taking the
something.
brunt of it, man. He's taking
Yeah,
the brunt of it.
yeah,
But Brian Dayball on the hot seat.
for sure.
Well, both coaches on the hot seat, to be honest with you, but
Yeah,
for different
I don't hate
reasons
that.
entirely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I'll say, watchability. This game got a 2 out of 10. Um, entertainment. This game gets a 3 out of 10. I was doing crosswords. That's always a bad sign.
I'm
I'm really into crosswords lately.
I'm at B Dubs, no free sponsorships every Thursday. Uh,
Nice. What is there some sort
so
of like a wing deal or something?
BOGO, buy one get one
BOGO on Thursday?
boneless.
Okay, it's
Buy one
over.
get one boneless.
We're in there. Oh, as we're talking smack about that game's watchability, I get an Apple Watch notification. Most watched regular season NFL game in history. So NFL probably doesn't care about the
Cowboys
product.
fans always showing up. Cowboys. That's
Absolutely.
why they put them on prime time. It's insane.
Yeah,
I
if
don't even know any Cowboys fans.
Armand gives it a 0 out of 10, well, that would make sense given that you
You were
watched the
asleep.
inside of your eyelids for 3 quarters.
I would give it a
Um,
higher score if I was asleep.
yeah, I do love
I
me
was
some
taking a little
sleep.
snooze, dude.
Yeah,
Come
if I
on.
got a little nappy. No, I think we're gonna put ourselves and the listeners out of their misery by moving on from that game. Some news just to talk about before we get to the week 4 matchups, which I'm just elated to talk about. I love this episode. I don't know if you guys saw, but I did accurately exactly predict a score of a game. I tweeted out that video. If you haven't seen it, at the Buffalo Trill, go enjoy my really cheesy edit that I made, where I brag about
Don't check it
getting
out.
getting the score exactly right. No biggie. But we try to do that every week. Let's touch on a couple things. Devontae Adams ruled out last minute. How does that make you feel about? I guess we could probably touch on it in the Raiders matchup. Why don't we just dive in, Jimmy? What do you think? Any other news
I'm
you feel
down
like
to dive
talking
in.
about?
I'm
Let's
down to
dive
dive in.
in.
We hit the news throughout the whole
That's
preview,
a really good
anyways.
point. Yeah, let's do that. So without further ado, then we're gonna start off really in honor of Armand, I would say, because he's here and he's active. We got to get him while he's active before he falls asleep. We can't let Armand get rocked to sleep by us. We usually take turns taking the lead on games. I'll take the lead on this one. The Broncos, with a 38.5 point over under, are traveling to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Jets, who are 7.5 point home favorites. Aaron Rodgers was dealing last week, looked like his old self. Denver really surprised people in their really punching of the mouth of Tampa Bay last week. There's really no other way to describe just how dominant that performance was. I was watching it with a friend who I convinced to start Baker Mayfield in fantasy, and the whole time she was like, "You said he was good, right? Like eventually, like he's gonna do something, right?" And I kept saying, "Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait," and I ended up looking like a dummy. So thanks for that one, Baker. I think this game. I think the Jets defense is really good. I don't think Denver has evolved enough as an offense or as a team to go in and put up any sort of significant amount of numbers or yards on the Jets. And I think that Rodgers doesn't have to do anything too crazy. I'm hearing a trendy pick this week to fade in fantasy and to fade in your weekly bets. Garrett Wilson is going to have PS2 on him. We all know what that looks like for wide receiver ones. Maybe fade Garrett Wilson this week. If you drafted Garrett Wilson, you probably don't have the horses to bench him. But That's kind of the way I'm leaning. I'll say I think the Jets are going to take care of business in this game. I don't think it'll be as dominant as maybe it should be, but I think it'll be a big win. I'll say Jets take care of business here, 24-13.
Yeah, I'm on the same page you are. You hit a lot of points that I was going to hit. I mean, having Aaron Rodgers on the team, I feel like has completely changed the Jets how we kind of envisioned it. Like he's getting everybody involved. He's not relying on Garrett Wilson. Sorry, fantasy managers, but that's
Yeah.
not going to happen. If you're gonna stop Garrett Wilson, then he's just going to throw to Alan Lazard. I mean,
Yep.
that's Alan Lazard has been a tank this year. He's
Yeah.
been Mr. Reliable because he's getting that second, third cornerback on him at times, but Garrett Wilson will be shut out. I feel like in some capacity at least this year. Patrick Surtain. This I have a stat just to back up what you said. He shut down Metcalf, Pickens, and Mike Evans for a combined 53 yards
Yikes.
and just a handful of catches the past 3 weeks. And I posted that stat, and people were like, "Well, they're quarterbacks." I was like, "Those are wide receivers that always put up great numbers,
Yep.
regardless of who is that quarterback." And Patrick Surtain just got that bag, and he's still dealing. So I don't see Garrett Wilson. He might get up some plays and stuff every now and then, but I think he's going to throw to other wide receivers anyways. And you have Brees Hall and Braylon Allen in the backfield for the Jets, and a defense that will stop you. So I don't think Bo Nix will have that magic this week. So 27-17.
So we got a 24-13. We have a 27-17. Really quick, Jimmy. Over under Garrett Wilson 55.5 yards.
I would go under, honestly. I don't.
Dicey,
I mean,
right?
if I had to pick,
low line for a wide receiver one.
yeah, and in fantasy football and stuff, it's like unless it's like a smaller league and you have some good options and like not a lot of flexes that you can start in your lineup and you have like a deep bench, then you could potentially. It wouldn't be shocking to bench them, but I don't see that happening still in a lot of leagues that are competitive.
Yeah, nope.
You're still going to start him because if he can get that, he still potentially gets like one touchdown. Because I mean, if we think they're gonna score a few touchdowns, Garrett Wilson, there's a good chance he rips one off. But yardage wise, I don't see it.
We are in lockstep, sir. Moving right along, Jimmy. The Vikings are taking on Adrian's Packers in Green Bay. Packers are 2.5-point home favorites, and the spread. Oh, it has actually moved. It opened at 2.5. Packers are now 3-point home favorites with an over/under of 42.5. Jimmy, take away the preview.
Yeah, I mean these are two teams that have been absolutely dominating. I think a lot of people, or most people, are surprised about the Vikings for sure. Sam Darnold has been ripping people to shred. I think he has like a 140 passer rating this year. Aaron Jones is going back home to Green Bay. Did you read his story by chance in the Players Tribune about
I have not.
like going back to Green Bay?
What's
really
going
good.
on? What's going on there?
It was just he was just showing love to Green Bay. He was showing love to Green Bay about coming home and stuff. But I think he's gonna be a little ferocious this week still because they kind of gave up on him in some ways. And then they have Josh Jacobs on the Green Bay side now, who's been wheeling and dealing. They're the number one rush offense in the NFL right now. So the Vikings Packers and I think Jordan Love's playing, correct?
I believe so. I heard questionable last time I checked, but all the news, all the energy, all the vibes are going towards that route.
Yeah, so Jordan Love coming back. I'm still on top of the Vikings. They're letting up the second fewest rushing yards this season. I think they'll be able to stop Jordan Love and the Josh Jacobs led offense a little bit, just enough to get by. I think it'll be 27-24 Vikings. I'm picking them again. Oh gosh,
You're staying in the flames.
is that you? Yeah, I am. I mean, the Vikings have been phenomenal on defense and offense this year against good teams. So it's hard not to pick them.
So you're taking 27-24, correct?
Yeah, it'll be a close game still. I think the Packers are still really.
I'm gonna comment. I'm gonna try to comment our scores so we can get them to Aid because Aid keeps track.
That's fair.
Yeah, right. He's a beast. We love him and we miss him. Yeah, I think you touched on a lot of great points. I think even if Love's back, who's to say he's 100%? I'm starting to think Love might be the kind of player who has that dog in him, though. I heard he was pushing to play last week, despite being ruled out pretty early in the week. That's something you love to hear, that grit, that determination. And yeah, I got a lot of love for Jordan Love, and I think he's a good player. I do think the Vikings are for real. Um, but I think so is Green Bay. So this is kind of a tough call. I don't think Green Bay can afford to drop this one, given that they're trying to probably make a run at the number one seed if they get Love back healthy. Minnesota, I think will probably. I don't know if they'll all the way turn into a pumpkin, but I think that there will be a regression to the mean at some point. I'll say Green Bay rallies in this one, fights for the win. I'll say Green Bay takes this one 26-24.
26-24.
Yes, sir. Let's and Armand picks the
Jordan
Vikings
Addison's gonna be back too.
31-21. All right, let me just type that
Probably.
score really quick. What was it again? What did I say? 26-24.
Yeah.
Green Bay.
Yes. I hope so.
Okay, there we go. Boom, boom. All right, good sir. On to the next one. We're looking at the Saints, who are 3-point road underdogs traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, who are 3-point home favorites with an over-under of start opening line. Again, I have the opening lines and the current lines. The current line is 40.5. It opened at a 43.5. So you could probably assume that the sharp money is on the under in this game. Um, very, very fascinating development here. Let me just take that banner off. It's going to be tough to update it per game. As I try to break down the games as well. Shout out
Adrian
to
does a
Adrian,
great
man.
job.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say I gotta give that man a ton of love for this because this is tough. We're looking at I think the Saints. We'll talk about turning into a pumpkin. Talk about regressing to the mean. The Saints had an absolutely dog expletive performance against Philly last week, 15-12. It doesn't really get much pukier than that. That's kind of just about as disgusting as weak in stomach as NFL fans. I'm not out on the Saints per se, similar to the Vikings, but I do think that there will be some form of correction to sort of a middle ground. And a lot of people are anticipating, in my travels of consuming NFL media, a lot of people think the Falcons offense is a floodgate and it's just waiting to burst. I'm not sure if I feel that way. I kind of think we've seen this version of Kirk Cousins before. I know he's got the Achilles and people are questioning his mobility and whatnot, but man, their loss against Kansas City last week was really discouraging because they should have won that game. They did. Kansas City did everything they had to do to lose that game, and uh, I mean, sure, the PI call, whatever you want to talk about. I mean, that's ridiculous. It was PI, but whatever. Those things happen. You give me a wishbone sweep 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage on fourth and
Mm,
inches
mm.
with the game on
That
the
was
line.
so bad. That was so bad.
I could have thrown up. I could have thrown up. Because
Imagine being the
obviously,
running back and hearing that play.
oh yeah, it was so
What
bad.
do you do?
You run lateral, you run parallel to the line of scrimmage or to the first down line when you're.
With inches to
Oh
gain.
my goodness, put who's their backup QB? Is it
Taylor.
Heineke?
Uh,
Put your backup in. Have them run the sneak. I know Cousins got the Achilles, but bro, you have to be able to run a QB sneak in today's NFL. Oh, it's Penix,
yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
have
yeah,
Penix in
yeah.
there. Send Penix in there.
Where
Come
is
on, that
Heineke?
was
I don't even remember.
that was so.
Heineke's
To quote
somewhere.
to quote the Gen Z kids, that was so cringe. But I think that the Falcons D proved that they were legit last week. Really, really messing up Mahomes, and the Saints proved that they were kind of poo poo garbage. Um, not even being able to move the ball against Philly, who doesn't have exactly a lights out defense. I think I'll take the Falcons in this one. I think it'll be a slugfest, and I think it'll be uglier than people think it'll be. I think it's going to be a final score of 23-18.
Ew. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
gross,
23-18.
gross.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke's on the Chargers. By the way, I had to look it up because I had completely forgotten that he was on the Chargers. Armand obviously didn't forget as well. Armand, Chris Olave, did you hear he got injured in practice today? He has a hamstring injury. He's questionable to play this week.
Yikes, that's bad.
Alvin Kamara is also questionable to play this week, if I'm not mistaken. And those are their two guys, in my opinion. I mean, this could be a Taysom Hill game. I have no idea. But I
Yeah,
do
if
feel
he's
like the
back.
Saints,
He's been out too.
yeah. But after scoring 91 points in the first 2 weeks, we kind of saw this. I mean, the NFL is weird. Like, obviously, they're not going to keep scoring at that pace. but to kind of score how they did against an Eagles defense that's kind of been wishy washy, like not a lot of pressure as much as they used to get this past season. And their young secondary, you'd think they would carve them up just a little bit more. Uh, 2017 Atlanta. Okay, yeah. See, so I'm going 27-21 Falcons. I do feel like the Falcons are. I think I have more faith in the Falcons offense in terms of like the floodgate kind of status. I would never
Yeah,
probably say that, but I think I'm probably leaning more like they just have so many weapons. I'm happy to see Kyle Pitts get a little more targets. Bijan Robinson is
a little more
what?
targets, but 2 catches though.
Yeah,
I don't know,
but
man.
he's still. I mean, it's still been better, which doesn't say much
Yeah, no,
because I
I,
mean it was
I,
really bad.
yeah, I've been absolutely mortified at Kyle Pitts usage. I mean, tight ends across the league. I mean, we can have
Yeah,
an
I don't. I
entire
mean,
episode
tight
talking
ends
about
don't
tight
really
ends.
exist in my opinion, except
Yeah,
for
they.
Dallas Goddard. We can talk about him later. He's a baller.
Yeah, what is up with that? After I traded him in legit, I offered him to you for pennies on the dollar, and you turned me down.
Yeah, I did, and I feel like that was the right decision at the time.
No,
I
I
don't
don't.
regret anything. Yeah,
I regret it. I want
I
you
don't
to
regret
regret it.
anything.
All right,
Evan Ingram.
Jimmy, you are.
Yeah,
It's your lead to cover this game. We have the 2-1 Philadelphia Eagles, who are 2-point road favorites, traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers with a 43.5 point over under. Jimmy, take it away.
this game I kept going like back and forth with. The Eagles are down a lot of players. They're down, or let's just say most of them are potentially down. Lane Johnson's probably, I think he is out. I think AJ Brown's questionable, probably out. Devontae Smith probably out. I mean, that's a lot of people on the Eagles' offense that changed the game for them entirely. So I don't know if Jalen Hurts is the quarterback at this point that you feel like if he was in a bad offense, do you feel like he could be able to carry that offense to a win with a shoddy offensive line with like one skill player that he can rely on? I'm not quite sure on that point yet. Their defense did show a lot of like umph a little bit against the Saints, as we just talked about. I think Quinion Mitchell will be really good. Devontae Smith's out. That makes sense. Jalen Carter's been good. Bryce Huff has not been good. He barely plays. Brandon Graham's been playing for him. Um, I like Tampa Bay. I think they had a really bad game against Denver last week, but I think against the Eagles here, the banged up Eagles here, I think the Buccaneers will come through 27-24. I have faith that Baker Mayfield will recover, and they have some skill players on the offensive side of the ball. I think Vita Vea's returning to practice, so that's big time. Um, I'm going to go Tampa Bay here. I think the Eagles lose this one. Yeah, 27-24.
I love it. I love the
Yeah, why
boldness.
not?
Yeah, I can't. Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
I don't think it's that controversial. What's the line? Do you have it pulled up?
I think I've said it.
I didn't even look at it.
Philly's 2-point favorites on the road.
Well,
Yeah, so
take the money line.
I don't hate where you're coming from. I see the vision for sure. I do think Tampa is better than they showed last week against Denver, and I do think, like I said, I was surprised that uh, New Orleans couldn't move the ball on Philly because I'm not really too impressed with Philly's defense at all. Yeah, it's tricky. This is kind of like a game. Again, I hate to even keep using this term, but I feel like we're watching a lot of ugly football, and I feel like these two teams have had some ugly games this year. 15-12. Are you kidding me? Jalen Hurts is a huge disappointment if you drafted him in fantasy football. I think it's a get right spot for Baker. He's at home. I do think Tampa will win this game, and I think I wanted to pick Philly, but I just can't. They've just let me down too many times. I can't, in good conscience, pick them to win really too many games. I think I'll take Tampa in this one. Um, the over-under was 43.5. I think I'll take Tampa 27-23.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like Barkley is just going to have 3 touchdowns now that we're picking the Buccaneers.
Oh, this is cool. Look at that. It's got the little thing there. See that?
How did you do that?
I don't know. So next game, can you comment those, bro?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you comment those scores? Mine was, I think, 27-23 Tampa. You comment yours as well. Next game, this is I believe a me game. Yep. Cincinnati at Carolina. Cincinnati 0-3, traveling to 1-2 Carolina. Bengals are 4.5-point road favorites, and the over/under is 46.5. That's an exciting over/under. I love to hear that. Personally, for me, this game really comes down to the fact that the Panthers rightfully subbed in Andy Dalton for Bryce Young. Might have killed the kid's confidence. But in the process, Canales is showing that he can run a football team, showing that the roster is not a complete dumpster fire. And I think revenge game is on the mind. I don't think Dalton would say that, but I think he was the Bengals franchise quarterback for a decade. One of my favorite non-Buffalo Bills of all time, Andy Dalton. And man, is he resurrecting the fantasy hopes of the Panthers players everywhere. Chuba Hubbard had his best game of the season last week. Deontay Johnson was out of control. Leggett people are talking about maybe firing up some Leggett this week and some flex. I would wait until we saw it 1 week before firing him up. But yeah, the Bengals, they scored on every drive the other day against Washington, just not enough touchdowns. I gotta say this one's pretty straightforward for me, and it's not pretty. And I Cincinnati was a trendy preseason pick. I thought they were going to be great this year. I think they're going to get buried. I think Andy Dalton is going to shovel the final pile of dirt on their playoff hopes this early in the season, and I think Carolina's going to win this game 30-21.
Oh wow. Is
Yeah,
Mingo a Leggett or Leggett? Leggett?
Xavier Leggett.
Leggett. Yeah.
Yeah,
What did you say? I feel like you said it differently.
I think I
Never
said
mind.
Leggett. I think I said Leggett. I might have
Leggett.
said Leggett. I think I said
I think you
Leggett.
said Leggett.
I might have said Leggett.
So that confused me a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyways, which one do you think is gonna get the targets?
I mean,
A little bit both.
between
There's
those
room for
two,
both.
I would say between those two, it would be Leggett.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, yeah, this is the game where both of these quarterbacks are the only quarterbacks that have thrown for 300 plus passing yards and 3 touchdowns in a game this season.
That's fun.
So that, yeah, it was fun with like Andy Dalton was the only one who did it until Monday night, and then Joe Burrow was like, "Watch this," and just went crazy. But their defense, it was a mix of like their defense not doing great and Cam Taylor Britt, is that his name? Cam and yeah,
Yeah, Cam Taylor Britt. Yeah,
talking trash
stud.
about all the rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah,
So Jaden Daniels absolutely went off. Shout out Jaden Daniels he went bar for bar, and won it against Joe Burrow. So that was like a freestyle competition. That was a very very fun game to watch, and seeing Jaden Daniels kind of come out of that shell and seeing what a young quarterback should look like. I haven't seen that in a little while, so that
yeah,
was nice to see. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. In terms of the Bengals Panthers, I think this is a get. I think this is a get right game for the Bengals. I do feel like their offense is good enough to win, and I do think it'll be a shootout. I think it'll be 31-23 Bengals. I do think it's a good, like, my first thought of this game, I was like, oh, Andy Dalton revenge game, but that's not usually the full scope of the story. I think Thielen being out will be big. They do have a couple young wide receivers, like we've mentioned, but uh, I got to go Bengals here. I think they just have the talent,
yeah. No, I'm not mad at it.
but I think
You
it's a good upset pick,
you
honestly.
said 31-23.
Yes,
30
31-23. Bengals get their
31-23.
first win of the season, and they go on to win 14 straight, and they make the playoffs.
You know what? They do that. I was listening to a podcast today, and
It's
the host was saying like, oh, so what are they? What are you going to tell me that Cincinnati's going to have to go 10-3 down the stretch just to even contend? And in my head, I was like, they do that all the time. I feel like they
They
do
started
that.
1-3 last year.
I feel like they
They
do that
finished
every other
They
year.
missed the playoffs, but like they were close. They finished nine and
Yeah,
eight.
they do that every year. Like they gotta figure out the damn first month of the season.
Yeah,
It is.
they
They're
should probably
snake
stop
bitten.
doing that.
Yeah.
Kevin and Jimmy advice to the Cincinnati Bengals: Zach Taylor, if you're listening,
Stop
do
losing.
better. Do
Be
better.
better. Be a better coach.
Maybe
Be a better
maybe
team.
maybe play all your starters in the preseason, so then the preseason is the start of the season, and you get your
Oh, dude, you're onto it. You're onto it, brother. Okay, good sir. You're up, taking the lead on this one. And my former darlings, the Houston Texans at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Texans are 6-point home favorites with an over under of 45 and a half. Hemi, take me through this game.
I think I think you should probably bet the Texans to cover. I think the Jaguars offense is not good this season. I think Trevor Lawrence conversation might be slowly happening. I don't think he's been good this season either. I think it's like the same thing that I mentioned with Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is obviously better right now, but I feel like we have to have the conversation about Trevor Lawrence. In some way, he has not been good this season or recently. He doesn't feel like he's the quarterback right now that can kind of put put the offense on his shoulders and kind of take them to the next level. Christian Kirk has been nothing this year. Travis Etienne's been all right. It's been tough to watch. So as for the Texans have also not been great. CJ Stroud has been iffy. He's been on and off. Still think he's a great quarterback. I saw him week one live, and he can definitely make plays. I don't know if Joe Mixon is playing this week.
Yeah, I've heard mixed
Armand, what
things.
do you think?
I've heard
Uh,
mixed
I
things.
think I think that's definitely a big injury to watch out for. I think he does make the Texans a lot more balanced. I think we've seen Devin Singletary do not so good things on the Giants. So obviously, when he was on the Texans, not so good things either. But I think Doug Peterson's on the hot seat. I'm gonna go. I think it's gonna be a blowout. I think it'll be 34-16 Texans. I think.
34-16 Texans. You just foresee that dominance by this team.
Yep.
Okay. Even after what you saw last week, you're not deterred. They
Nope.
really they got punched in the mouth. You want to talk about being punched in the mouth?
Welcome to the NFL, man.
It does happen. You
A
know
lot.
me, bro. You know me, bro. I'm I was a little happy to see them get their doors blown off, given that they traded for Stephon Diggs. I have some hard feelings there. So I wasn't too mad seeing
Yeah.
seeing that score. Um,
I mean, the
but I do.
Jaguars got beat up by more points. I feel like you saw
Oh
that game.
man, that game was a freaking. It was a good time. I had a little
It
party
was
at my
done by
house.
the second quarter. Yeah.
I had a little party at my house. No man, I gotta give it up. I think Houston takes care of business here. No Tank Dell. I don't think it'll be a problem. I think Diggs is looking the part so far of who they traded for. I think he'll probably get some snags in this game, probably 6 or 7 catches for Diggs. Nico Collins is, as you all know, he's my favorite non-Buffalo Bill in the NFL. He's so fun to watch play football. He reminds me of Eric Moulds. I saw somebody compare him to Julio Jones. That was a little crazy. That was a bit much on Twitter, but that's Twitter for you. I got to say Houston takes care of business in this one. I'll say it's not pretty for Jacksonville. They go to 0-4, and I think Armand wants to say Zach Taylor is number one on the hot seat. I think
I don't think
Doug
that's true.
Peterson. I think Doug Peterson might be.
If
Give
if the Bengals
me.
lose,
I still don't think so. I still think Peterson's seat is hotter,
I don't know. The
personally.
Bengals have lost a lot of close games
Yeah, and they've been really
for the
banged
most
up,
part.
and
Yeah.
they're having personnel issues. I think Houston's going to take care of business here, and I think Doug Peterson might get a pink slip. Maybe not this early, but in the coming weeks. I'll say Houston wins this one, 33-21.
So you're on the same page as me.
Yeah, what you said 34-16?
Yep. There.
33-21 Houston.
Himmy. Himmy.
Kev. Hit me. All right. You ready?
Himmy.
You ready? Good sir. I believe
What are you
this
doing?
one is this my lead now, or is this
I think it's your lead.
did you okay.
I just started.
Dude, I do not like scab producing. It is not fun. All right, good sir. Actually, you're
Oh,
gonna
I
take
can
the lead on
start.
this
I can
one. Yeah,
start.
you're
Yeah,
gonna
why
take the
not?
lead on this one. We got the Indianapolis Colts, who are at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers, mind you. Um, Colts are 2.5-point home underdogs with an over/under of 40.5 points. Timothy Garoppolo, take it away.
Let's start with the Steelers real quick, and then I'll get into the Indianapolis Colts. Steelers wise, they've allowed only like 10 or fewer points in each game this season. Haven't played the greatest gauntlet of quarterbacks or teams, but they have a ferocious defense. I think we all know that. Regardless of who they play, they'll come out to ball. They'll get pressure on you, no doubt. They have TJ Watt's going to get his 100th sack against us for a fact. That's there's no doubt. He has a half a sack away from getting his
He was
100th
saving
career
it just
sack.
for this game.
Yeah, I don't understand why, but that's mean. Justin Fields, I think there's a lot of. I don't know if he's actually named a starter. I think Justin Fields is starting this week.
For sure,
But
he should.
yeah,
Been
but
winning
there's
games.
obviously like that weird tension quarterback wise, where like I think they probably promised Russell Wilson the spot, but then he got injured, and now Justin Fields. He's been playing well enough to lead them to a 3-0. He hasn't had to score too many points, but he hasn't. I think he only has one turnover the past 3 weeks, where in the past turnovers were a big problem for him. So kind of, I think Mike Tomlin and that Steelers offense has kind of calmed him down a little bit. He's been able to make plays. Hasn't made any mistakes. That's big time, and that's what you need. That does not lose you games if you don't turn the ball over. If anything, that helps you out tremendously. Russ was still limited in practice this week. Shout out Dr. Armand, because I need to check the injury report before these podcasts, I guess, because it's ever changing. Apparently, Chris Olave, shout out. Okay, Indianapolis Colts. So last week, do you think I should be happy with the game last week? You're
Do
muted.
do
Oh,
I think you should be happy with the game
yeah. Do
last
you
week?
want me to be happy with the
Hell
game
no.
last week?
Hell no. That was
Hey,
atrocious.
don't yell at me, dude.
I'm sorry. I'm yelling.
Oh my gosh,
No.
I shouldn't.
No, absolutely not, bro. Your team looks bad. I'm sorry. They need to show a lot more. And it starts off with the QB. Obviously, he's missing layups.
Yeah,
But
he's
it's
missing. Yeah,
the defense was decent. I will say. At times Caleb looked pretty damn good. And y'all got the win, so you're 1-2 now, right?
we are 1-2. Yeah,
But I would not be pleased at all with your team. And I think when you go up against a real offense, it's gonna punch you pretty hard if you guys don't figure some
yeah.
stuff out.
No, I'm on the same page as you.
Cool.
I think the bright spots, our offensive line is still pretty good. Jonathan Taylor had one of his games, and he's kind of getting back on track to where we can rely on him. But we
Love
just need
Johnny T.
we need the big runs from him because we can't seem to hit those small passes to kind of keep the drive going, and that's what you need. You see
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson like hit Alec Pierce like 20, 30 yards downfield, and then you
Gorgeous.
see him running to the left with like 3 or 4 defenders in front of you. Oh, let's do like a little fun little throw up, and then it just gets tipped and it gets intercepted
That
easily.
was one of the worst throws I've ever seen in my life. Truly.
Yeah, so
Apologize
uh,
for that one.
I'm still. I mean, it's still so early in his career that I have to chalk it up to hopefully he can learn.
Yeah.
We'll have to obviously wait and see. I don't know if it's like shoulder mechanics still that he's working out or what, but he's
Yeah.
just like bang, bang, like
Yeah.
it's a rocket arm.
He's
And you
not
can't
there
teach,
yet.
yeah, you can't teach a rocket arm, which is nice. But if he can't eventually learn how to do those short, medium passes and learn how to run efficiently, how to move the ball efficiently on the offense, the defense will be bad. The running game will be bad. We won't win games.
Yeah.
I have the Steelers winning 21-17 because it worked for me last week. I picked against the Colts, and I mean I'm not going to pick against the Steelers defense against us.
Smart.
That's just
And it's working.
that
If
just
it ain't broke, don't fix
doesn't
it.
make sense, and I don't think our defense is anything to brag about. Shout
Yeah.
out Jalen Jones. He got a couple picks last week. He's a young corner that we're really big on, but Kenny Moore's out. DeForest Buckner still out. So I can definitely see. I think Jalen Warren's out as well. But I can still see them finding a way to run the ball. I think Justin Fields could potentially have 100 yards. Why not? It could be a running game for Justin Fields if he feels like it.
Yeah,
Because I
he
feel
hasn't
like they
done that
always
too
let
much
that
this
happen.
year. I keep waiting
Yeah,
for
I
him
mean,
to put the cape on, but he hasn't been.
yeah. So Titan Maximum just said Justin Fields is a store brand Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
But,
insane. We
we're a
also have
store brand defense, so I
the
think it's
GOAT
fine.
Bonner Buzzy coming back around. We haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, Bonner Buzzy. 24-6 Steelers. I think that's a little lopsided. I don't think anybody here is going to be saying that. And Jimmy is a Colts fan, so obviously,
Does that mean we hit our field goals?
let's take his feelings into consideration here. I think I do concur with you guys that Pittsburgh will win the game. Believe it or not, the score I directly accurately predicted was the Steelers game a couple weeks back, Steelers Broncos.
I
So
don't believe you.
something tells me I might have a little bit of a read on this team.
How
We
many
all
times are you gonna
know
mention that? I'm just curious.
I'm gonna mention it 1,000 times, bro.
I got
Um, I have to
Yeah, they'll score 11, dude.
you have to scream your wins from the rooftops, and you have to pretend your losses never happened. I gotta give Pittsburgh the edge in this one. I do think it'll be a barn burner. I think the Colts will do a little something. Maybe Richardson has some moments that we are pleased with him. I'll say Pittsburgh wins this one 19-17.
I like how you throwing out some fun scores.
Yeah, I like to mix it up. I like to be a little mix it up guy. Um, 19-17. And just like that, we're on to the next game, good sir, which is the LA Rams traveling to Chicago to take on Caleb Williams' Bears. And the Bears are a home 3-point favorite over Matt Stafford and Sean McVay with an over under of 40.5. I will be taking the lead on this game, and I am pretty damn mortified that the Bears are 3-point favorites with everything we've seen of them. I don't think they've demonstrated the oh, shout out to Armand here, giving you some love, Jimmy.
Thank
Taking
you,
quote.
Armand.
I don't think that the Caleb Williams Bears have done enough to earn favorite status just yet, especially over an established team like the Rams. Yes, the Rams are super banged up, but they're coming off of one of the greatest comebacks. Not of all time, but it was a cool comeback. It was a nice little comeback. It looked like I believe their win percentage was down to like 2.4% when the
Can I?
punt.
So when I
Yeah,
was watching the game, I was like, the Rams have no aura right now. I said
they
that,
didn't
and then immediately they started just and
having
then
aura.
like fourth quarter, I was like, oh, I guess they do
Yeah,
have aura. Sorry, that's just what I said
yeah,
in the moment, and then I think I started. I think I was the one that
you
made
jinxed
the
it.
comeback happen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In a good
Absolutely.
way. I'm
If
okay with it.
49ers faithful forever was here, he would scream at you.
I'm okay
But
with
no,
it.
I gotta give some love here to the Rams. They showed a lot of grit. They're super banged up, but I still think they're a competent NFL team. I think Caleb will be on the run a little bit this week. I think they'll rattle him a little bit, and I think I'll take the Rams to pull off the upset in this one. I'll take Rams 24, Chicago. I'll say 16.
Rams 24, Chicago 16. Yeah,
Yep.
I was looking at this game, and it feels like it could potentially be one of those games that's like weird in the NFL, to where like we don't expect, like the Rams like played really well last week despite all their injuries. The Bears played a not so good Colts team, and they still didn't win. So where does that leave them in terms of their hope for this season, in terms of getting on the right track? Because we're already almost a quarter of the way through. But I think the Rams showed a lot of toughness. I think Matt Stafford is still one of those guys that can make plays regardless of who he has on the field. Kyron Williams against the Bears defensive line, I think will be huge. I think Kyron Williams has scored like 6 straight games so far. So go ahead,
Monster.
anytime touchdown bet. Bet Kevin's rent. That's the segment.
Boom. Back
Boom.
Kevin's rent.
Adrian hit it. Just that guy.
Damn, me too.
Oh my gosh. And Anthony. Shout out Anthony.
I
He'll
know
be back.
all our goats, man, all gone.
All our goats, but we still got each other.
Poor losers.
No, so
I'm
I think
sorry, guys.
Stafford, Kyron.
Poor losers. I'm sorry, guys. Poor losers. I'm sorry, guys.
Overall, I feel like this is unfair.
I love it. Yeah, back Kevin's rent. Kyrie Williams anytime touchdown. Jimmy, comment your score.
Okay, I will. I'm not even gonna say it out loud.
Oh, did you not already say it?
No,
Oh, say it.
no. Rams 21, Bears 14. No field goals, just touchdowns.
Oops, all touchdowns.
I also put Jimmy.
All right, good sir. You're kicking us off here with the
Ooh, what are you putting?
Washington Commanders traveling to Arizona. Cardinals are 3.5-point home favorites in a 48.5-point over under. Hello. Love to hear that music to our ears.
I think I'm just on that Jaden Daniels train because I'm not picking against them in this game. I think I'm picking the Commanders again. Not again, but right now. Jay Daniels popped off last week. Terry McLaurin, that was the happiest I've ever seen him look in his 8
Yeah,
whatever seasons.
that was awesome.
It's just those stats of like he's caught touchdowns from this many people.
He
Jay
deserves that.
Daniels was just dropping it in the bucket when he needed to against the Bengals last week. And I think that was big time. I think he was showing a lot of poise for a rookie quarterback. And like I mentioned with Anthony Richardson, watching Jaden Daniels was like, okay, this is one of those guys that can run the ball. And he can, sit in the pocket a little bit and develop in the pocket and make those short throws, make those long throws, throw out to Eckler, get the ball running with Brian Robinson. I mean, I think the Commanders will win this game 24-20 against the Cardinals. The Cardinals, nothing against them. I think I'm just on the Commanders train. So this could just blow up in my face and like it was like a one-time, couple-time thing for the Commanders. Because Marvin Harrison could get another touchdown this week. He has a few touchdowns now under his belt. He's shown he's capable of making those big plays, and Kyler Murray is capable of waiting, staying in the pocket and making enough time for him to make those big plays against any team. So it could be tough, but I just think the Commanders against that Cardinals defense that isn't too great. I think 24-20. Thank you.
24-20 Washington.
Bonner, are you saying that's your score, or are you saying that score is my score?
I think he was saying that's his score, and I think you just stole his score. That's really not cool, Jimmy.
No, I said it like a couple minutes ago.
That's his intellectual property, sir.
Bonner's my guy now, dude. I know.
You want to know what I think about this game? That's a
Game of the week.
Right here.
Pluck off. Is this a pluck off?
That's a pluck off.
I agree with you completely.
It's a pluck off. I think it's my offseason darling team in the Washington Commanders versus Adrian's offseason darling team in the Arizona Cardinals. It's not going to be easy to do, but I think I have to agree with Adrian's pick here. I think Arizona, Kyler's moving the ball like crazy. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s looked excellent. I will deeply, deeply miss Trey McBride. I believe Trey McBride's not playing this week. But I think Washington, despite having figured some things out on offense, I think their defense is a little too shoddy to. I think Arizona's defense will contain Washington a little bit better than Washington will contain. Vice versa, whatever I just said, the inverse of whatever I just said.
That's fair.
I'll take Arizona in this one, 30-27. Shootout.
Yeah, shootout.
Fireworks.
I keep thinking that's like a sound bite.
Yeah, because I do that. I do that. That's that falsetto
Fireworks.
voice. Yeah, that's a classic.
Were you in choir?
I was.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a classic Kev voice thing that I do on this pod.
Just this pod
Adrian,
or every pod?
I do it all the time. And
Copy
Adrian loves
Okay.
clipping it and putting it into little moments. So without further ado, then that's the Washington Arizona game. We now have the Patriots traveling to San Francisco. This was my rejected offseason darling team, who looked like absolute trash last week against the Jets. Let's just call it what it was. That was one of the worst displays of football I've maybe ever seen in my entire life. Truly. And the Patriots are 10-point road underdogs in an over-under of 40.5. So not a shootout here. I think Ramondre Stevenson should get things going once again. Like you said, after Kyren really went kind of bananas last week against the Niners, I do think it's possible that he gets going. I don't think it's going to mean much for the game. I think Brissett is a dead man walking. I am absolutely, for the sake of the watchability of the Patriots, dying for them to turn it over to Drake May. I know they're probably letting Brissett just get the meat of those hard matchups out of the way, and also the offensive line
He's good at it.
Yeah, that's what he does, and the O line is terrible, and they don't want to throw Drake May to the wolves and have him develop a bunch of bad habits. I do understand the philosophy, but I'm impatient, and I'm a watching NFL fan. I'm a paying customer, and I'd like to see some entertaining football, and Jacoby Brissett does not play that. On the San Francisco side of the ball, very disappointing loss, but they really looked in command of that game. Brandon Ayuk has been probably the biggest disappointment in the NFL through 3 weeks. Just the terrible effort and plays. I think a lot of it has to do with the no camp. But those drops just hit a little different when you are getting paid what he's getting paid. And it's probably to be expected. It's probably just a learning curve. He'll probably at some point start snapping again, and he'll be the guy we all know he is. He's looked like one of the best receivers in the NFL at times last couple seasons. So, I think he'll get right. I think the Niners take care of business here easily. Hopefully, this kickstarts the start of the new season for the Patriots. Once they realize they're not going to make the playoffs, and once the season's out of hand, hopefully they start shifting their philosophy towards their draft pick and the future. I'll take the 49ers in this one, 30-10.
30-10. I write it down for you.
Thank you, King.
I already had it ready.
Oh, what a guy!
Yep. Yeah,
What a
absolutely.
guy. You know what? I'm going to do the same thing for you.
Oh my gosh! Oh wow! That gives me a chance to talk about how bad the Patriots are as well. I think the first couple of games, we can't forget about. I think they have the toughness. I don't think they've been playing too bad. They've been showing a lot of grit, but I think coming into the season, we all had they just don't have a lot of skill players. They don't have a lot of difference makers on either side of the ball. So that's the tough part. You can't outplay what you have. So. You can sometimes, but not against teams like the 49ers. The 49ers are obviously 1-2, which who would have thought? Yeah. See, just saying that out loud, it's weird, right?
Weird.
And is Christian McCaffrey okay?
No.
He's in Germany right now. God knows why. God knows what. Well,
unload all my shares. It's time.
Is it time?
Fire sale. Unload your shares.
Okay, you heard. So not sell, not pay your rent, but I don't know.
Bet Kevin's rent.
Unload bet Kevin rent.
Very simple.
Unload his apartment afterwards. I have no idea.
Yep. Liquidate your assets.
Anyway, so the 49ers, they have a lot of injuries, obviously, still. Jawan Jennings went absolutely binoculars. Binoculars?
I like that. Never heard it, but I think we need to start saying that.
Binoculars makes absolutely no sense, but just the word binoculars fits right with Jawan Jennings. 100,000 yards last week.
100 touchdowns.
Yeah.
3,000 catches.
Patriots, there's a guaranteed strip sack in there somewhere, returned for a touchdown. I'll go 27-13 Niners. You didn't give me the 49ers when whoever sent me the matchups this week. I'm just going to go Niners.
There we go.
Not San Fran, not the 49ers, just Niners.
Niners. All right, brother. Niners. You're kicking us off with this next one.
What does that even say?
We have Cleveland. What are you talking about? Las Vegas Raiders, you goof. We have Cleveland traveling to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Raiders are now, probably given the Devontae Adams news, he was ruled out today. Raiders are now 2.5-point home underdogs with an over-under spread of 36.5 points. So Vegas is saying ugly, 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 ugly. Deshaun Watson's looked like one of the worst QBs in the NFL. Jimmy, take it away.
This isn't one of those games that I would sit down and watch. I think if you have a lot of TVs, you could put like a little baby small TV and just be like, okay, it's over there just so I can check it in the third quarter and be like, okay, it's 9-6. That's about what I expected. No, in all reality, the Browns have been going through a lot in terms of just making stupid, boneheaded mistakes. Deshaun Watson's been sacked the most this season, and his wide receivers have the most drops, like 5 more drops than any other player. Drops are a weird stat to record, but that's what the statistics say. That's what one of the websites says. So that's what I'm going to go with. Shout out to the people commenting on that if you're one of those people. Anyways, Deshaun Watson, I think we can all agree, is not a quarterback.
He's not a quarterback.
Not a quarterback.
I was waiting for what kind of quarterback he was. Nope, just not a quarterback.
He's not a quarterback, period. But the Browns defense, I think, is fairly good. I think they're pretty good. I think Myles Garrett might be questionable this week as well. I mean, this is not going to be one of those games you turn into. And looking on the other side of the ball, the Raiders apparently they don't have the dog in them right now, is what Antonio Pierce pretty much said.
Yeah.
His press conference is some people making business decisions, and he
definitely
talked to some players and put out some play. I don't know what he did inside of the facility, but outside of the facility, he was talking trash. So God only knows what he was talking about with those players, hanging them up to dry and sending them on their way.
Yeah.
He was ready to send Gardner Minshew out of there. I have no idea what's going on in Vegas right now. But hey, what happens in Vegas stays there. Devontae Adams is done. They have no running game whatsoever. Teams are outgaining them 101 yards a game on average on the ground. That's about how much you should get, but they're outgaining them by that much. I'm going to go Browns just based off the running game and their defense. I think the Raiders are going to have – I think it's going to be unfortunate. I think it's 24-18 Browns. 24-18. Why did I say that? No, that's not what the score is. It's going to be 16-13 is what I meant to say.
16-13 Browns. I liked your 9-6 better. I thought that was a little more accurate, but
no, that was early in the fourth.
Okay.
So there's going to be some garbage time, a lot
some last minute maneuvering by the garbage offenses.
Correct.
Yeah, no. I think this is going to be a terrible trash game to watch, and I think you broke it down perfectly. I don't think there's anything more for me to say. I think Cleveland will win in pukey fashion. I'll even stick to the gross scoring that you talked about. I'll say 12-9.
12-9.
Yeah, how's that?
Cleveland?
Say Cleveland. Let's do Cleveland. But I don't like either team, obviously. They both suck. Good sir. Coming up for you, we got Kansas City, who are obviously favorites, but by how much? 7.5 points. Mamma mia. Kansas City 7.5 point favorites over the Chargers at the Chargers with a 39.5 point over under. Herbert's banged up, coming off of a high ankle sprain last week, but he still might play. I'm hearing, which is insane, but probably necessary if the Chargers are going to have any chance. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think Herbert really should probably take the week off and just rest. I don't think he will because he's the franchise guy, but I don't think it's going to bode well for the health of his ankle. Mahomes looks more human than he's ever looked this season, but it doesn't matter. They're 3-0. Bad officiating aside, they're doing what they have to do to win. That's kind of a Kansas City thing. Your boy Crocky J looked awesome last week.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a good time watching him. I was pulling for
70-something yards, yeah.
Yep, because of you,
Love
I was
it.
pulling for him.
His sister was getting married at the same time.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a fun
That
little
was cool.
little Sunday night tidbit.
I'll say legend, dude.
Yeah, I'll give Casey the win here in a ugly game. I'll say 23-10.
I'm weirdly gonna go with the Chargers. I have no idea
love it.
why,
I love
but it feels like one of those situations where Mahomes gets human and the Chargers hold on to the ball with enough time. J.K. Dobbins hits 100 yards. I think Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater being out will obviously be tough, but for some reason it just feels like one of those like how the Rams won with all those injuries. I think the Chargers come in. They've only allowed 11 points per game this year, so I think the Chiefs to about 17 points, and the Chargers hit that 20 mark and somehow stop Patrick Mahomes. I still don't know why I'm doing this, but you got to pick some upsets because in today's NFL, apparently, there's a lot of upsets. So
Very unpredictable.
I think just pick the money line for the Chargers.
I love it. You got a score?
It's an easy bet.
Did you give a score?
Yeah, 2017.
2017. All right, good sir. We're
LA.
flying through. We got 3 more games to talk about here.
We're almost at an hour already.
Oh yeah, we
I don't know how this happened. Usually with 2 of us, we go a little quicker, man.
You and I just drone, bro. We're a couple droners, bro. My boys,
bro.
the Buffalo Bills. I'll take the lead on this one if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Buffalo Bills are 2.5 point road dogs heading to Baltimore on Sunday Night Football. Waiting all day
For Sunday night.
Let's go. And the over-under is 46.5. I think this is going to be a really interesting game because I'll say this, Jimmy. Based on what I saw last Monday, based on what I've seen from the Bills thus far this season, we all know I was high on them, higher than consensus. But I thought there would be some human moments. I thought there would be a step back. We're not seeing anything of the sort. The Bills' offense feels like they're clicking for the first time since Brian Daboll left. They feel inevitable to me whenever Josh Allen takes the snap. I just feel confident that somebody's going to get open and he's going to find the open man. And whenever Cook gets the ball, I think he's going to go for 6 or 7.
How does it feel?
It's unbelievable. It's a very awesome feeling. I love what I'm seeing from the weapons. I love Khalil Shakir. I love Dalton Kincaid. I would like to see Keon Coleman get a little bit more involved. I understand there was a timeliness issue, which is why he was sat for the first quarter of the last game. But I think he's really has a lot of potential, and I'd love to see him get utilized this week. On the Ravens side of the ball, I think Lamar's been Superman this year, which is cool. I like seeing that. Reigning NFL MVP. Really stud player. They're 1-2. They really don't want to go 1-3, especially at the hands of an AFC rival. Baltimore's going to come out hungry and aggressive in this game. You cannot pick up a milk carton these days without seeing a picture of Mark Andrews, and it says, "Have you seen me?" That man is gone, and it's weird and bizarre and sad for the fantasy people who drafted him really high. RIP, fly high angel, Mark Andrews. I don't know. This is going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a lot of defense. I think it's going to be a lot of haymakers back and forth. I am confident in Buffalo, though. For whatever reason, I just think they've shown to be one of the best teams in the league through 3. And it's okay. I mean, I'd rather be playing great ball than bad ball. I wish they were gelling later in the season. I never love when a team starts out this hot. They usually tend to taper, or people tend to figure them out. But Joe Brady, whenever they throw scissors, Joe Brady seems to know how to throw rock. And whenever they throw paper, Joe Brady seems to know how to throw scissors. So I'm locked in. I'm a believer of the Bills. I think the Bills are going to win this one in a close one. I'll say Buffalo takes it 27-24.
Yeah. Obviously, the Bills are one of the best teams in the NFL right now. Josh Allen, I think, is the MVP right now. I don't think that's really a debate by any means.
That was your pick.
That was my pick. So lock it in now. Heading into week 4, it's a guarantee. Bet Jimmy's rent here. No, but the Bills have been phenomenal. I refuse to pick against them this time around. I think it'll be a shootout. I think it'll be 34-31. Lamar Jackson makes some crazy plays.
Always does.
I think that'll happen, dude. Khalil Shakir has, dating back to last season, 27 of 27 targets. He's just, if you throw him the ball, he will absolutely catch it. The Browns could definitely use him. Anyways, when was the last time?
I got his jersey.
Right now?
I pulled trigger, man. I bought it at opening weekend. I bought a Khalil.
Where is it?
I ain't wearing it, bro. It's my game day jersey. I gotta keep it. You gotta keep the juju.
All right.
You wear it on the top.
Smith Schuster. When was the last time the Bills lost by more than 6? Have you seen this stat?
I would assume 2021 against the Colts. Yeah, y'all curb stomped us.
That's all I wanted to say. I
hate you for that. But yeah, it's been 3 years.
You got it. You got us back, I feel like.
Yeah, so what are we looking at? 34, 31 Buffalo?
34-31. Yeah.
You want to type that? You want me to?
I will.
All right, Jimmy. Two
Two
games remain, sir. We have Titan Maximums, Tennessee Titans, traveling to South Beach to take on the 1-2 disappointing Dolphins. Dolphins still 1-point home favorites in this game, despite very likely starting Snoop Huntley. 36.5 point over under, Jimmy. Take it away.
What's the over under?
36.5.
I don't think that even gets hit.
Yeah, that's pukey.
37.5.
36.5.
I think it'll be like 36.5. I'm trying to do the math on that.
I think the projected score.
I think it'll
be like 18-17 or.
I mean, this is one of those tough games. I mean, these teams have both been disappointing for a variety of different reasons. Tennessee Titans has a quarterback who likes Mayo a little too much.
Loves turning the ball over in hilarious ways.
Mayo of him. Mayo or
terrible.
I don't know. I saw one of his commercials and I was like, now it's just not the time, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say shelf it.
Not the time. I had faith in them last week against the Packers, but I've lost complete faith in them now. Malik Willis diced him up a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. Tough. Will Levis. I keep wanting to say Malik Willis. I keep getting them interchanged a little bit.
Fair.
Problem for me. Their names
Very fair.
Feel similar. They don't look similar, but they feel
disappointment
similar in my head. That's disappointment. Yeah, pretty much. What did I say? 17-16 Dolphins. I mean, I think the Dolphins. I think Skylar Thompson gets a signature win under his belt.
I think it's going to be Snoop Huntley, no?
Is it?
I think Snoop Huntley's starting.
What? Oh, Skylar Thompson's injured. Well, Snoop Huntley, even better.
Yeah.
Even
Love Steve
better.
Bartley.
Yeah,
Love him.
1760. I don't have much to talk about with this game.
I don't hate it. It's a snooze fest. I traded for Tyreek Hill in a league. I gave up next to nothing to get him because the Tyreek Hill owner was just trying to liquidate. And then I tried to trade him, and I'm not having any luck back. I think I might have made a huge mistake. I'm probably going to be diamond hands until something happens where I can trade him. But I'm feeling a bit screwed over. People called it a fleece. They said I fleeced this girl for Tyreek, and then nobody want. I was like, hey, okay, it's a fleece, right? So you want him, obviously, right? Nope, no offers. So struggling there. I think the Titans are a huge disappointment. Sorry, Titan Maximum. You do have to find out if he's the guy. You're saying he's not. It's been 3 games. Let's take a deep breath. I think
Well, he played last season too.
That's fair.
He's
I think he'll
I guess yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, three games with this regime, with this weapon set, with this offensive line. I'll still take the Titans to win this game. I don't really see Miami. I don't think they have the coaching. I don't think they have the horses. I think McDaniel. I think his seat's going to get a little warm. I really do.
Really? Even yeah.
I do. Yeah. The charm is wearing off.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be this year. I
don't think it'll be this year.
Next year, maybe.
But in order to get to 400 degrees, you got to pass through 300. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Got to get a little warmer before. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm cooking. Tennessee wins this one 20-14. And we have one last game to talk about.
21-14 Tennessee.
Staggered. Yes, sir. We have a stupid staggered Monday Night Football game, which I'm so sick of. Do you like those? I hate them.
I don't mind them too much.
I don't. You know what? At one point,
I'm not going to freak out about it.
They double boxed the other game in, and I was like, I didn't ask for this. Don't make me watch my bills smaller. I don't care. I have the other game on a laptop, ESPN. Don't double box me against my will. Absolutely
I feel like they're competing against each other, which is weird. Like
it's
the same. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, just start one at 4 and start one at 7. What the hell? What's the deal?
I don't know. I feel like they refuse to do that because that's like 1 p.m. your time, or I don't even know what time. Are you talking? You're talking about Pacific time.
Yeah, exactly. Which is my bread and butter. Just make the second game a
7 and 10. Yeah, people watch NBA games when that happens sometimes.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, last
I'll
game,
stay up.
And it's a doozy. We have the 2-1 Lions at home taking on the 3-0 Seahawks. Seahawks are 3.5-point road dogs. Over under 45.5, Jimmy. I think Detroit here has a lot to prove. They were a trendy Super Bowl pick. They were an eyelash away from the Super Bowl last year. They really should have won the NFC Championship game. Meanwhile, Seattle is showing that the Geno regression of last year might have been a flash in the pan, and the actual real Geno might have been the stud we saw 2 years ago, who was lighting up the earth. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Amon-Ra is going to get heavily involved. Laporta, I believe, has been ruled in, which I'm stoked about. Goff's got to be better. Straight up. Goff's been disappointing this year. Detroit's been with a run-first mindset. It's been fun to watch if you're into that sort of thing. I think the casual fan is probably more looking for high-flying football, but Montgomery Gibbs is one of the best 1-2 punches I can ever imagine, like I can think of ever. They've looked phenomenal, both of them. I think Detroit wins this one. I think they take care of business, but I think Seattle makes it a ball game. I'll say Detroit wins 29-27.
Yeah, I have Detroit 27-21. I think the Seahawks I think their defense has been phenomenal. I think they've made some plays on offense. They haven't played any phenomenal teams. And I think the Lions are one of those teams that'll kind of skew their defensive stats a little bit.
It's great to have Joe Crack back in the chat. It's been years. Welcome back, Joe Crack. I wish you were here to talk football with us and not to harass me to accept your garbage trade offer. No, it's not garbage. He offered me a first and Jerome Ford for Derrick Henry in a dynasty. Sorry, Jimmy. Carry on.
It's not bad. I don't even know what I was saying anymore.
I know.
I think the Lions win 27-21. I think it'll be a good game though. I think it'll be the game you tune into on Monday night.
I think so too. That might be the one. The other one is Tennessee, Miami. So I might also.
Okay, so that's kind of why they did it. I feel like because
they were like it's a snooze fest.
They don't want the Thursday night football games that are snooze fest and that's all you have to watch. But little do they know we'll watch it regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. NFL fans are degenerates, junkies. We've proven that time and time again.
Not me.
Yeah, Jimmy, I another excellent day of breaking down the matchups with you, man. Um, this kid says, "I love you." P word that I can't say. I'm at Hibachi. Can't hear a thing. Love you too, you scumbag. Um, anyways, Jimmy, another excellent podcast. Anything you want to say to the great people before we sign off? Or signing off?
There's a good chance. There's a hurricane in Indiana right now. I don't know if I'll make it past today.
Don't say
But I
that.
love you guys. I love you
That's not a
guys.
thing. We love you too, Jimmy, but that's not a thing. Don't say that.
Well, the wind is strong.
The wind is strong.
It's making me scared.
Good sir. I'm praying for you. I'm sending good vibes. Stay alive, stay
We're good.
strong.
We're good. It's not that bad.
I really hope your Colts put together a better showing, man, because I would just hate to have to be on the air consoling you after a 1-3 start from the
I'll be okay.
AR-15, who everybody thought was that dude, you know.
I've come to terms with what this season is. I'll be okay.
Don't say that. Don't be negative. Don't.
No, it's not negative. It's not negative.
You said I've come to terms with what this season is.
Well, it's just a learning year.
Yeah, well, I thought that about the Bills last year, and they ended up making a run. So
listen, Anthony Richardson is basically
he's got to
early
take
Josh
a step
Allen.
forward.
He's basically early Josh Allen.
Josh Allen never did anything like
They're
what
basically
I thought
that's
last week.
Yeah.
That was bad. That was so bad.
I think Anthony Richardson, give him like 3 years, and he'll be doing that too.
He'll be an
Just
MVP.
wait. We'll be here in 3 years, and we'll be like, "Wow, Josh Allen is washed. Anthony Richardson's awesome."
I love it. I don't ever talk like that, but I love it. We missed Adrian, we missed Ant, but Jimmy and I held it down. To the 503 people in the chat, we love you all. Thank you for being here. Titan Maximum, Armand, Joe Crack, Bonner Buzzy with the appearance. Absolutely love all you goats. Thank you so much for tuning in to. Oh, you know what? I have to be the one to end the pod because Aid's not here. Thank you so much for tuning into the Legit Football NFL podcast, and we are